Tom, I'm going to come to you with the Iran story because there's a lot of stuff that's going on with that just came out. I think Witkoff, is that the one that's in the story wrap or?
Yes, they met yesterday and spoke for hours. Looks like no nuclear deal has been reached.
No nuclear deal has been reached. That's page 26. And then not only did no nuclear deals reach, but there was a lot more than that. So when Iran, which one is it that says they went to it? Viewing, there it is. Viewing the satellite imagery and monitoring the Iranian nuclear sites, we don't see any evidence that they are trying to reconstitute their nuclear weapon program, said David Albright, a former United Nations weapons inspector, president of Institute of Science. They're essentially on hold. Steve Witkoff, the U.S. negotiator, told Fox News that Iran is probably a week away from having industrial-grade bomb-making material. That assessment would imply that a significant part of Iran's uranium enrichment capability survived last year's strikes, and that Iran can also still access some of its enriched uranium stockpiles, which were believed to have been buried under rubble last June. Many analysts are skeptical that Iran could easily do so at the bombed facilities. While this is going on, there's a couple things. Iran reportedly turns to communist China to checkmate U.S. On top of that, a tweet Mario Nafal just sent that. I don't know if it's Mario Nafal or if it's somebody else, Rob. I just sent it to you a minute ago. Not a minute ago, probably 30 minutes ago. Reporting that, do you see it? This
right here, Marco Rubio?
You have that one? Yeah, Marco Rubio. Just in, Senator Secretary Marco Rubio, State Department is authorizing evacuation of non-emergency U.S. personnel and their family from Israel because of safety risks. And China is also evacuating their people from Iran. So if they're both on the same page, do you think there's been a call between the two of them together? Hey, are you guys if China's leaving as well, then that means China and U.S. are on the same team with this. If that's what's taking place. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. If they seem like they're being teammates here on leaving. And I don't know. Obviously, some things change with tariffs. So China's probably sitting in a better place with the tariffs that was, changed due to Supreme Court. But Tom, what do you think is happening here?
I think there's two things happening. The first thing that's happening is Witkoff and Jared Kushner have been there, and 3 times they've been through it. 3 times they're doing. It's a little bit of window dressing. They know that that the simple thing: you must stop weapons grade creation forever. People say, well, what about nuclear energy? Number one, you've got more natural gas than God. You don't need nuclear energy, but nuclear energy is made with different materials that are prepared differently, that can be prepared above ground, and new small footprint efficient reactors. Okay, what's your next excuse? I'm just not going to give it up. And I think that they've negotiated 3 times in the last week, Pat. They've given it up, and we've pulled everything in there. And Midnight Hammer at the time, you guys remember, hold me honest on that, not hold me honest, but make sure
I'll hold you, period.
No.
Hold
Thank you.
tight.
Just check me on this, on the history. There were analysts out there, defense analysts, like people from Janes, that said that Operation Midnight Hammer may not have done as much damage as we thought it did. And that we beat the crap out of some stuff in some facilities? Yes. But did we get down deep enough to really get to things? Maybe not. And so now it looks like there's intelligence that says, hey, we can do it. And so I think we've got everything lined up, Pat, and I think we're going to strike. And I think they're going to hit the facilities. There's 3 separate locations that are targeted. We've got all of the advanced tactical, and help me out. What is the name of the Air Force base that the U.S. uses in northern Israel? It's where there's like 15, 20 of our advanced tactical fighters there. The USS Gerald Ford has moved. And so there's 3 angles of attack here. And you've also got the big high altitude bombers sitting on Diego Garcia, getting ready to go with all the refueling. So you can see 3 punches there ready to be thrown. And I think everybody knew, Pat, that Iran was not going to give up this number 1 request. Never do it again.
Is it the Ramat?
Yep, Ramat Air Force Base is where they put all the advanced fighters.
Bingo.
I think they knew it, Pat, that Iran was not going to say, you can never develop a bomb. I don't think they were ever.
While this is happening, Hezbollah allegedly says won't intervene if U.S. strikes Iran. Group says. But it does have a red line. What the hell do you mean you won't intervene? You're funded by Iran. What do you mean you won't intervene?
Can I translate that? we're all running to Lebanon. Please don't kick our ass on the way to do an errand in Iran.
Right. And then at the same time, Khamenei is having meetings with his leaders, allegedly, and his leaders are having to be blindfolded to walk into a tunnel, like an underground location, to see him, have a conversation with them, just so you don't know where you're walking and where you're being transported.
So they don't rat on him.
So if you're captured later and you get something injected into you, courtesy of the pharmaceutical industry, and you start talking about everything you know.
Can I ask you a question though, Pat? Like if correct me if I'm wrong, we did the bombing, we did bunker busters, everything. Everybody was going crazy. World War III. Okay, done. Now again, they're trying to build or nuke or whatever. So we're gonna bomb them again. But I thought the mission was the people, the 40,000 that were dead in the streets. The mission was to help the people, get rid of the leader, and like bombing the nuclear site. Okay, I understand that. That's very important. But the mission is the people that are dying, that are still dying in the streets, the people that are in the prisons right now, they're getting tortured and killed. I thought that was the mission. So I'm kind of confused.
You're asking a question that a lot of people are asking. And what a lot of other people are saying is, hey, this sounds like there's weapons of mass destruction. It sounds like that script a little bit, and that criticism is a fair criticism to give because, there's an audience that voted for no war. So, and by the way, they have the right to be as critical as they want, but at the same time, if they do it and it's a surgical mission like they did with Venezuela, Trump's administration also gains a lot of respect for doing it that way. So, we'll see. Rachel Campos Duffy did say something which was very interesting this morning. She said about, Trump's getting a little too cozy with communist Delcy Rodriguez. And she says she can't be trusted. Every time Trump, watch this, every time, right, is that the clip?
Yes, sir.
Can you play that clip and go to the last 30 seconds? Play it from right there. Go for it. Oh, we have issues with that. Okay. So she says every time Trump mentions her
with the Chinese. One last thing. I am coming to you right now from Miami. Every time President Trump says, I'm working well with Delcy Rodriguez. Every time he says that, he drops 5 points here in Miami.
Think about that.
Where people hate the communists and know exactly what this is about. We need to stabilize, yes, but we need to announce an election date and get to an election, because that's how we actually have freedom and security in the Western Hemisphere.
I agree. So meaning if they're going to do this Iran thing and the elections in Iran are not going to be quick or fast, another regime is going to come in and take over.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't want.
So, but at the same time, listen, this is the risk of diplomacy. This is the risk of war. This is the risk of politics. This is the risk of being a president. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, of course. Well, taking out Iran and the Ayatollah is America first. How could I say that? What does that mean? Because if you're only a surface level thinker, then you're not going to agree with me. What do you mean? You're just trying to get us in more wars. Nobody wants war. But the iceberg effect, where you only see the top 10% of the iceberg, but the 90% is below. Let me walk you through this right now. So nuclear weapons. Hey, how you doing, Maral?
I love your
nuclear weapons. Of course, we've been talking about that forever.
So fun.
That's the surface level. Okay, what's going on? There's 40,000, 80,000 Iranians killed. Okay, that's what's going on there. Here's what we do know. Iran fears Israel more than they do the United States, because Israel has taken out all their proxies. And if we just look at history, Israel has done more to affect Iran than the United States. It's kind of like Israel will beat them up in the fight, and the United States comes in the 10th round and knocks them out. So you should be worried about what Israel's doing. So beyond that, why is taking out Iran America first? The deepest level is, if you take out Iran, who gets affected the most? Our greatest enemies, China and Russia. Because who fuels all of China's economy? Venezuela and Iran, the oil. So if we take over Venezuela's oil, which we've done, essentially, if we somehow replace the regime in Iran, China will get weaker. So our greatest foe or competitor or enemy, whatever you want to call them, is China. But before you beat the final boss, like in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you got to beat Don Flamenco, and you got to beat the Hippo. You got to beat these guys, and then you get to the final boss. So, and then here's the funniest thing about China. They're so aligned with Iran. They're so aligned with the Muslim world. Do you see what China is doing to Muslims in China? They're putting them in camps, these Uyghurs. I think, fact check me on this, I think China has called Islam a mental disease. By the way, China is anti-religion. The Communist Party does not believe in. So it's all this duct tape diplomacy. All our enemies, their only thing bonding them together is that they want to bring down America and the West. And what does Iran call America? The great Satan, Israel, the little Satan. They also say death to America, death to Israel, death to England. All our enemies have this duct tape diplomacy, and their only common bond is they want to take down America. If we can stay together and stay strong and not stay divided, we'll defeat these horrible enemies of ours.
It's a very high level of uncertainty of what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. I have a very simple philosophy. I'm rooting for us to succeed on this mission. And I do believe Iran, the current regime, the IRGC, is horrible for the world, horrible for everybody, period. The way they treat their people, absolutely horrendous what they do. The world is a better place if they fall.
If you love this country, show it. Lead with pride in the Valuetainment USA collection. Designed for freedom thinkers, built for everyday leaders. Red, white, blue. Purpose. Wear what you believe in. Valuetainment USA.
Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Valuetainment USA merch. And again, like I said, I love seeing our folks, the best of the best, the smartest fans in the world. You, that likes debate, that likes fun. You're a Valuetainment type of person yourself. If you believe the future looks bright and you love USA, go pick up some merch for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for your clients. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.